What's going on, Believers? In the last 24 hours, Saitama had Lilly Finance pull out, and it ended the evening with an AMA that was really unscheduled, that ended with Russ answering the questions that he never came on this show to answer, and that's all we really needed. He took the brunt of a lot of hits last night. He answered the questions that were tough to the best of his ability, and I think now we're in a position where we can move on. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle for Saitama for just a little bit, but you know what? Things are looking a little bit better now that we have some level of clarity. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways.
What's going on, Believers? The Bleeves NFT collection is out at OpenSea.io/collection/Bleeves, and there are 20 of them with assorted tokens that I cover every single day. 2 special editions down at the bottom with the Floki eyes, and there is 1 special edition that has a hat, and there's no premium on that one. So help me out today, guys. This goes a long way towards helping me and this channel buy my NFTs. It's not financial advice. I'm always right. Good luck. All right, guys, let's get after the price action. We are trading at 21.46. We're trading at 21.46 right now because there's been 56 ETH in buys that have happened in the last 5 minutes. So somebody knows something and something is going on. Now, that's a positive sign to start the day. However, the problem, I think, with that is it's going to lead to a cascade of sell-off because we have a lot of unfaithful people who are going to look to cut their losses or take their profit or whatever it is that they're going to do. So in the last 24 hours, we did have some moments where there have been some struggles. And you can look at this chart and you can just see how much room there was. There was a move up here when we thought that I'm not going to say it, Binance thing was happening. And we know that it's not a Binance listing. We know that it was just a host from CoinVoice on Binance, but it's a good sign, and not a whole lot of tokens are advertised on Binance. So it didn't go as intended. It started, by the way, a cascade down. This little cascade that we're looking at right in this channel right here, that started before. That was the Chad Bros who were like, buy rumor, sell the news, bro. And they had started an early sell-off because they were figuring something. Then we got to 8 p.m. We didn't launch. Then you had this little sideways action right here. Then you had the announcement from Lilly Finance that they were no longer going to be a part of the Saitama verse, that they were looking to do something else. Now, that started off a cascade of people who were saying, well, I wasn't going to buy Lilly Finance anyway, or the only reason I got into Saitama was in order to buy Lilly Finance. There was plenty of reasons. There's plenty of things going on. But at the end of the day, Lilly Finance is a business run by a man who is trying to do and conduct business. Now, is there a RICO investigation against the guy? Yeah. Does it have any merit? I don't know. It might. Federal government, if they do things like that, and by the way, when I read up on it, I did not find that the federal government had a RICO case. I saw that there was a lawsuit by a former employer alleging violations, but I do not see the federal government involved in any way. So when we say there is a RICO case, it's not really a RICO case. It's an accusation. And to be fair, I've been in the medical industry for many, many years, and everybody accuses everybody of doing something, and I have not seen the separation of CEOs, CFOs, or even CMOs that don't go without some sort of lawsuit when it ends. Just seems to be the nature of how business is done in the medical field. So it's very possible that there's nothing to it. It's also possible that there is something to it. So this came from an allegation that they were using federal grant money for N95 masks, and they were not providing them to people. So We'll see how it goes, but we're not really interested. What we're interested in is how it affects Saitama. Now, for those of you who were not happy about the relationship with someone that you considered to have a somewhat sullied reputation, well, then the good news is they're not here anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. The bad news is they took a product that does appear to have a good value with it. Now, what does Saitama do going forward? Well, you take that program out, you take that pairing out, and you move on with everybody else. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, my complaints and any complaints, you know what? Let's move on. All right, guys, here's the simple truth. Russ had some unforced errors because he wants you to be happy. He wants you to be inspired. He wants you to be positive. Now, when you give people information and you don't deliver, and he had no reason to know that he wasn't going to be able to deliver. So he made a lot of hyperbole about how great things are and how great things will be, and it just did not pan out. You know what? That's okay. What's not okay is continuing to do it. So he went on yesterday, an AMA early in the day, and I made a post because I had somebody ask me, why is this guy always going into this chat with this guy named Cryptobolics when he knows that he's not going to be asked any questions? All he's going to do is get his ego stroked. And then another guy asked me the same question, and then I went into Telegram, and when I was in Telegram, 3 messages waiting for me asking the same question. Guys, Cryptobolics is a very positive person who looked at the positive in things, and he goes after the good things. He's not looking to investigate what's wrong with something because he doesn't feel like it accomplishes anything. I differ. I think that you have to address the negatives in order for the positives to be built upon. That's all. So Russ will never come on this show because Russ is afraid to answer those type of questions, I thought. Then he goes into another AMA last night, and you know what he does? It's a different Spaces hosted by a different guy, and guess what? Everybody had a chance to speak, and everybody got a chance to ask the hard questions. And you know what Russ did? He took a deep breath. He faced everybody, and he let them speak, and he answered those questions to the best of his ability. Now, at the end of the day, Lily Finance is still gone. But you know what? There's other tokens out there. We are not built on Lily Finance. We are built on Saitama. We are the wolf pack. We are the people who will be here at the end. Saitamask, we did learn a little nugget when Russ was speaking kind of off the cuff, and I think he was kind of doing it to himself, not realizing that he might have been saying a little too much. But one of the things that he did say is that it's a lot closer than we think to being completed, that they hired some other engineers. Max has been working nonstop. All of these things have been going on, and we're probably in a pretty good place. Hopefully, there'll be an announcement in the next couple of days. We don't know, but we hope. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, Russ is doing the very best that he can to try to run a ship that is going through choppy weather. We're seeing it in the price action. We're seeing it in the lack of faith by investors. But guess what? Once we get Saitama launched, and it absolutely starts to work. Once we get the swap up and operational and the pairings start. Once Fang gets launched and we start to see the NFT marketplace and it starts to sizzle just a little bit because there are cooperative agreements with major influencers and stars that'll be coming through that pipeline. Once those things start to happen, there is a PR firm, by the way. So once those things start to come together and to coalesce into something tangible, then we're going to see a rocket ride in the price action. I told you guys a long time ago that it would happen. We put it on delay because things didn't happen the way that we wanted them to happen, and here we are. But now we have to move forward, and when we move forward, this thing is still going to blow. It's still one of the best meme tokens that has now shed or is attempting to shed that mystique of being just a dog token or something like that. That's going into the past. It's going by the wayside. We are the future. Saitamask may be as good or better than any other wallet, or it might just be another wallet in the pack. It doesn't matter. What matters is the people behind it, and I think that we can trust those people for the long term. Guys, it's not financial advice. I'm always right. Be faithful. Give these guys a little bit more time, and I think we're going to see some upside.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining